Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Mentor Moments. My name is Paul Martin. I'm the Director of Academic Content at the National Alliance for Insurance Education and Research, and I am joined today by my friend and colleague, Dustyne Bryant, who is the Academic Director for Personal Lines.
Hey, Paul. Thanks for having me.
Great to have you. Well, today I want to talk to you about something I know that is important. I know you have experience with it, but the importance of honesty in insurance transactions.
Yes.
The courts have called the insurance policy a contract of the utmost good faith.
Yes.
And because of that, we need our customers to be honest with us.
It is a two-way street for sure.
Yes. And we need the insurance companies, of course, to do what they say. But the point of the honesty issue, it comes down to the applications, doesn't it?
It does. It really does.
And what are some of the things that are, you just off the top of your head, things that are really, really important that, like personal lines customers, will tell you the truth?
Things that personal lines customers generally going to tell the truth about are their name and date of birth.
Okay, so what will they fib about?
So things that they will generally fib about, or they might beat around the bush just a little bit, is how many drivers do you have? Whether or not that teen driver, especially if they're coming from another carrier and they've experienced a rate increase, they may have gotten some insurance information either from a friend or from their prior agent that's like, well, we added this youthful driver, so now your rates are going to go up. So they go shopping and then don't tell the next agent about that youthful driver.
About that 16-year-old.
Right. Same thing for cars, though. They add a sports car and that rate goes up really high. They might say that they don't drive it very much and they want it on a classic car policy. It's only for show use.
But they really drive it every day.
But they're driving it down to the gas station to show it around, you know. So those are some things that are most typical. They're not going to tell the truth about claims usually, and I don't know that that's on purpose. Sometimes they don't realize that claims, small claims count as claims, or even filing a claim that's a zero peg claim counts as a claim. But that's generally something that an agent's going to overcome with clue reports.
It's like the customers, like they're trying to outsmart us. Like they're trying to pull a game and they think they're going to save some money. And the truth is it just causes problems.
It really does.
It makes them harder to insure because once the insurance companies figure out this is somebody who plays games or has played games, it just makes them harder for them to get insurance and it costs more.
It does. Well, it's really a game that they shouldn't be playing, that they really need to tell all the facts, no matter what they are, because there are insurance policies. Let's talk about an auto policy. There's going to be an auto policy where you can have what many may know as a permissive user. And that's okay if they're not listed on the policy. But then there are other policy contracts that are going to have name driver only, even if it's a relative inside the house, and that it may be very restrictive. So if that agent is placing with a named driver policy, and they may not even know it, especially if they're a newer agent, and that person doesn't disclose all the drivers, and Junior's driving a car and he's not named on the policy because Dad thought he was going to get a lower rate, we're going to have a problem later, and it's not going to be one that's going to be easily backtracked.
Yeah, that can be a real problem. Also, it's important to remember that these rules, they differ by state. Mm-hmm. Some states won't let you sell a policy that does X, and other states will. So you cross state lines, you move, and all of a sudden the insurance marketplace has changed.
Yeah, that's another area where some dishonesty may come into play, is where those vehicles are garaged and located, because you might have a lower rate in one state and a higher rate in a different state, but that vehicle needs to be insured in the state where it stays. That's a trickier one too.
And this dishonesty thing is really, really important because you know what? Even whatever situation you're in, you can get insurance.
Yeah.
I mean, it's rare, very rare that someone can't get insurance at all for what they need.
We can insure you. It's just
how much it's going to cost.
Exactly.
But it also is about the insurance companies that are, some say, no, that's not a problem. I had to put my daughter in an RV trailer while she's away at college.
Right.
And she's near the beach. She's less than a mile from the beach. And my insurance company said, no.
Right.
They don't want that thing. But the insurance company they're insured with said, yeah, no problem.
Absolutely.
And I said, she's living in it. They said, it's okay.
Right. Well, it's called a niche. Every insurance carrier has a niche that they want to be in. And just because it's an oddball type market doesn't necessarily mean you're going to have a high rate. It's just that carrier wants to be in that space. So they're going to make the rates competitive for that space, but they're also going to match the rates to the risk.
That's right.
So just be honest.
Yeah, be honest. There's a way to educate customers. There's a way to talk to them and get them to see that trying to game the system doesn't work for you.
Right.
You're going to be much better off when you tell the truth. Imagine if an insurance company didn't keep their promises.
Right.
It's the flip side of that. You have to be honest with them so they can charge you what's fair.
Absolutely. Well, when an agent accepts dishonesty or doesn't do everything they can to weed out the dishonesty, that puts their contract in jeopardy.
It does.
If you end up in claim situations where you're constantly being fleshed out that, something was missing on the application or the client told you but you didn't disclose it, you're going to end up losing your contract. And that can not only reflect poorly on you as the agent and the agency, but it might even put other agents in the area at risk as well, because it starts to look like, insurance is a small world.
Yes, it is. People talk.
Yeah, we all know each other. And, I think there's one thing that you start telling your kids as they grow up, guilty by association is a thing. So dishonesty and being honest as an agent on your applications and to your carriers, it keeps everybody setting the bar high and makes sure that all agents are abiding by those terms.
That's exactly right. I want to mention something else because it also affects life insurance, okay? Mm-hmm. Personal lines insurance, I believe this is the case in almost every state. They give the insurance company like 60 days, sometimes 90 days, to check out to see if you are telling them the truth.
Yes.
It's kind of like people say they don't have a trampoline. It's like, we have Google Earth, we can see it.
Exactly. And again, be honest, because some carriers are okay with trampolines as long as they have a net. So just be honest.
I've seen so many people listen. No, I don't have a trampoline. It's like,
that was the prior owner.
I can see it. Okay. It's on Google Maps. But in life insurance, it works the same way. But life insurance is actually more severe because when you talk about really large amounts of life insurance benefits, they check you out. I mean, they're going to get all your medical records, and there's something called a contestability clause in the contract that says if you didn't tell us the truth and you die within the first 2 years and what caused your death was something you didn't disclose to us and should have, we're just going to give you your premium back. We're not going to pay it.
Right.
And they
You're just hoping the premium was high enough to pay for the funeral, right?
Yeah. I hope so.
That's the only escape at that point.
Insurance is really tied to this honesty thing.
Yes.
And legally in the courts, like I said, the courts have said that it's a contract of the utmost good faith because the insurance company is just giving you a piece of paper with a promise on it. Mm-hmm. But it's very critical that they keep their promises because if the public can't trust the insurance companies and if the public can get away with cheating the insurance companies, then the insurance mechanism just falls apart.
It does.
It won't work.
Right.
And if we don't have a good functioning insurance mechanism, I know that sounds so nerdy, but if we don't, then banking starts to fall apart.
It does.
Because they're not going to loan you money to buy a house or to buy a car without the insurance. So a Western functioning economy is really built on the fact that insurance has got to be there.
Right.
And everybody's got to tell the truth.
Right.
That's why it's so regulated.
Right.
So anyway, this has been a great discussion. And those of you that are listening, one of those things you need to put in the back of your mind. Honesty is paramount when you're placing insurance with insurance companies. And I encourage you, it's also just the ethical thing to do.
It is. Honesty is always the best policy.
Well, Dustin, thank you for being a part of this conversation. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Paul.
It's been
fun.
Yeah.